Da, 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 da. Sorry for the delay, but this is the top 10 worst movies of 2019. Screen Fiend version only. Now, don't get it wrong. I have not seen every bad movie in the world. I think I have in 2019. 2019 had a lot of good movies, but they also had their share of bad. Now, when I say bad films, I don't mean those straight to video movies that are like really bad. You know, I mean like really, really bad that you know they bad coming out of the gate. And believe me, there are a lot of honorable mentions. I mean, they have some bad movies that weren't meant to be that bad, and you laughed all the way through them because they were that bad. You know, it's a lot of those. And that was the sound of a Cash App donation. And I appreciate that, Goo Roach. If you want to donate to the Cash App, my name is Carcino. That's Karceno. We thank all you guys for the support. You guys keep this thing moving. Now, number 10 on these worst movies of 2019, we have Anna. I never thought a movie with this much action would be in a top 10 worst movie. Luke Besson, who's giving you Lucy, who's giving you the the Fifth Element. I mean, this guy is normally good for making visually stunning movies. But Luke Besson, who has a thing for, blonde women and doing a female one man army thing, this is basically another Lucy. I guess this model, he owed her a favor for some things she did and decided to put her in her own film where she's just ridiculously killing people. And then it's supposed to be some twist that you don't care nothing about in this film. It is just a total waste of your time. And watching it is like, why am I here? I mean, seriously, you're wondering what the hell are you doing there when you're looking at Anna. But the action enough kept it at number 10 at least. As we move right along, we go to number 9 on the list. Number 9 is What Men Want. Oh my gosh. Taraji, what was you thinking? What was you thinking? This was a play off the movie What Women Want with Mel Gibson. Now they got a woman who reads what men want. I mean, the Chappelle skit was funnier than this and better than this. This was a ridiculous movie. It made no sense. Oh my God, it was just terrible. From the start of it, the tones, it's just was not interesting, and people definitely was tuned out with the bad acting, bad setup. It was just one long sitcom that just would not end, and that is number 9. And believe me, there are movies worse than this on this list. Number 8, Serenity. Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway, you was like, oh man, I got to rush to the theaters to see this. Oh, no, do not. Even watching it on video, you are going to be confused all the way into the very end when you hear the surprise. This movie lacks any type of chemistry whatsoever. I mean, Anne Hathaway is trying her best to navigate this movie where you think the story is going somewhere, then it makes an unusual turn that makes no sense when it makes another turn, and I'm like, well, how is this happening? It leaves you guessing, it leaves you incomplete, and it feels like I just watched a setup with another setup and another setup, and there's no payoff. It is totally a mind screw job, And you're definitely going to be upset that you even sat through it in the first place. And number 8, Serenity, is definitely on this list. And number 7, we have Replicas. Replicas is with Alice Eve and Keanu Reeves, who had the year of all years. You would think, man, can't get no worse than anything than this. I mean, everybody does not have one movie where they slip up. This is a big slip up. Replicas could have ruined his whole comeback. He must have owed someone a favor. Now, the wife and kid, whatever, die, and he decides to bring them back in the replica bodies that he had, and all hell breaks loose as he's doing it under the government, and this movie just is all over the place and just makes no sense. So, yeah, definitely avoid it by all costs. You don't want no parts of that. At number 6, we have Black Christmas. Yes, Black Christmas is god awful. It's like the 15,000 remake, and it's fresh on my mind because it's just out. And Imogen Poots, who has been in some great movies, I'm wondering the whole movie, how the hell did they get Imogen Poots to star in this crap? She was in Yesterday. And I'm like, why am I watching this? This movie was a horrible remake and rendition of a frat going after the sorority girls, and they switched it into a Me Too movement thing, and all the women fighting all the men, and it's just, we hate men! It was just, it was just like a terrible, terrible movie. Whew. Number 5, we have Countdown. Countdown, the Final Destination remake. Now it's a killer app. An app tells you when you're gonna die, and guess what? You're gonna die. This time it's gonna happen. Now they have this feature on the DVD disc of Final Destination. You enter your birthday and everything, and it tells you when you're gonna die. Now, right now, if you put it in, because that one came out in like 99, you put it in, you were way past the date that they had set. You're like, well, I've already lived past that. But it was a cool feature on the DVD that kept people playing with the DVD. And they actually have a psychic test on that, which you can still play that today. And see how well you do. And guess. And see if you have psychic abilities. Which makes the Final Destination disc a great DVD to have. But this movie, straight trash. They had a good premise, and they didn't follow up on it at all. The movie was just so boring, with some of the worst acting you've seen in 50 years. There's no payout. It's just a waste of your time, and you're wondering, how the hell did I get here? Yeah. Which brings us to number 4. Cats. Now, I had to see and watch Cats, unfortunately, to get to this point. And yes, since it's recent, it's still fresh on my mind. And I went in with the attitude of Cats can't be this bad. It's that bad. They tried to make Cats Chicago, and they followed it, and they just automatically had the attitude of knowing that this was going to be good. Now, I've never seen the play Cats, but it was long on the show, and everyone thought this was going to be a big, big, big movie. It wasn't. The trailers didn't bring me in. I don't think it was meant for a cinematic universe. It just didn't make sense because I don't understand it. I mean, what is going on? This a tribe of all these cats. I mean, I like Idris Elba as the pimp cat, but what in the world was I watching? It's like an insane musical going wrong. I didn't even like the music in some of the songs. And I'm like, why am I here? I'm 25 minutes in. I don't know what the hell am I watching. What is this? And I mean, everything looked like sets. Like it didn't look like a movie. I'm just blown away. I mean, for it's probably the biggest failure with a big budget, and it's going up against Star Wars. But everything looked like sets. It's not like when you have like other movies that came out before it that was on a musical type of platform. Everything looked real at least. It didn't look like a set. This looked like Graffiti Bridge with Prince. At one point, it just was not doing what I thought, it should be doing. And completely was a disappointment amongst, definitely myself. The CGI looked terrible, and I was very disappointed. Number three, Token. Token, my gosh. This could have easily been number one. I've never been more bored in my life. Even when I watch a lot of like UK British comedy and British films, it's not like I can't watch a British movie. This thing was just so dated, so boring. You are bored out of your mind watching this film. And you want to just fall out and just fall off the planet watching this. I mean, it was that bad. It is to me. It is tied with number two on the list. Tolkien was that bad, and when they had those little clips when they show you and what is the life of the writer of J.K. Tolkien that made the Lord of the Rings and how he used the real war to morph that into the Lord of the Rings, but it's a whole boring process of his life. His life was never interesting. As you go with the story, it's just really a bunch of your UK frat boy crap that don't mean anything. It is just a waste of time. It was just like, well, let's see if we can steal some money using the name Token and see who comes see it. It didn't work. Number two, The Fanatic. Oh my God. I did this movie review. I told you I laughed. It was so entertaining. It was so bad. It was entertaining. This was actually in a small release theater, and they just said, let's send this thing straight to video. Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit, he co-wrote and directed this movie, and actually got John Travolta to star in it. And this is what made it worse. John Travolta is really good at doing certain things. He can engage in certain characters and perceptions. And what they did was take the movie The Fan with Robert De Niro and make that an Oscar-winning performance of a movie compared to this. That was Go watch that movie. That's how it should be done. This is how you don't do it. The Fanatic stars with a mentally retarded kid or disabled person deciding that the best way of attack is to just virtually get an autograph from his favorite actor, and the actor is blowing him off, and he's showing up at places, showing up at his house, and you would think this movie could have been done a lot better, but John Travolta's performance in here was horrific. The writing was horrific. Everyone else acting around John Travolta was horrible. This movie was a cluster from the editing to the look. It just I don't look. I tilt my hat to John for trying. It's just certain things you just can't nail, and this was one of them. Which brings me to the number one. And I mean number one. There was no question, a doubt. Would anything be worse? I mean, I can't believe this actually made it to a movie theater. It is by far the most offensive, most ridiculous movie probably ever made in life. Loquisha. Oh, I'm still in shock. Loquisha made it. Loquisha, ladies and gentlemen. Let me explain to you what Loquisha is. Loquisha is a guy who basically a guy who wrote and directed himself, Jeremy Seville, who should never work in the business again. He's playing a guy named Joe. You know, and he's a bartender who thinks his life is not paying out, and he decides to audition for a local radio show for talk therapy, and he gets rejected, and then he invents this larger than life black woman personality named Loquisha. So this white guy turns his voice and thinks he sounds like a black woman and named Loquisha, and stars ooh child and doing all. I could not believe. And not only that, this movie was bad. I got to see this movie for free. And I said, I don't even want to do this. I was ready to leave 30 minutes into this. This is completely garbage. Do not watch this film. I am amazed that this film was even made. And people tried to bring up the people who produced the film and who was attached to it was like, well, this is no different than when they made White Chicks. How do you think we felt when the Wayans brothers made White Chicks? I said, watch White Chicks and you watch this. This movie isn't even good. It's insulting. Some of the jokes are just completely insulting. It's outrageous. And it's nowhere near funny. It's not even close. My thing is, it's hard to believe they got black actors to participate in this. Because this could ruin your career. Dwayne Perkins, this could ruin your career. Tierra Parker. I mean, I know you guys are trying to break out in the business, but this could destroy your whole credibility. This could destroy your whole persona. People are like, you started that? Why would you do that? But no doubt, LaQuisha was the worst movie of 2019. I wouldn't be surprised if it was produced by Donald Trump. Now, we move to some honorable mentions. I mean, you can have X-Men, Dark Phoenix on the list, The Intruder. Oh God, with Dennis Quaid, but that movie made me laugh, so it didn't make the list because Dennis Quaid character was so hilarious. Miss Bala, woo, that movie was bad, but looking at her and her underwear, that kind of kept her off the list. The Goldfinch must have been a good book because the movie was like, huh, what? This this is stupid. So there was a lot of bad movies, man, in the year that could have made this list. There's probably gonna be some that was so bad I forgot about, and I'm quite sure someone's gonna make a list, and I'm gonna look at it and go, "Yeah, that was bad." So definitely check it out, and thank you, and please subscribe, guys, to Screen Fiend. Hit that notification button, and then select all when you hit the bell, so that they can know That's what you want, subscribe to this page or else. Don't forget, I did the top 22 best videos of the year. I'm out.